low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could take
Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? Happy Saturday. I missed you guys. How long has it been since I've been live? What? Only a day, right? Hasn't been that long. Hey, Care Bear. Hey, Lena 10. Hey, I hate peas. I actually love peas. Hey, Queen Mike. Mick, sorry. The best mama bear. Hey, Sparkle. How are you guys doing? I missed you guys. Let me go up. Hey, B Kush. Shiny Peas. Shine. Hurst Hill. Kiwi Sandy. I'm so I'm so sick. Star Party Go. That's that's a long name. Cute though. Rizzo's wife, Mrs. Bermudez. It's always good to see you. TX Tiff, how are you? Catherine, Trina. I'm glad to see the dancing. I love that. I love it. Hey, Brandy CMUA. Jessica, Mother Earth, Nana of 5. Thank you guys all for being here. Hey, Jenny Lee. Hey, Ginger Lee. Is it Brownie? Brownie Queen. Okay. These names that you guys come up with is so creative, but more or less the spelling. Hey, Tia. Hey, Lynn. Hey, Goose. Hey, Alana. Hey, Chit Chat. Gator Hater. Jamie Vaughn. Okay. Good to see you guys all here. So, I can promise you guys this is not going to be a long live, which I don't want it to be, because I have so many live streams to prepare for this week, especially the one that's going to be for True Crime Thursday. So I will probably be live every day this week, probably. Hey, little miss, shut the hell up. I'm not going to say. Yeah, I know what. I'm not going to say it though. Hey, Jen Bailey. Hey, Faith. So I don't expect for this live stream to be very, very long. But I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys because I do feel like these types of things are important. One of the reasons why this is important, and if you're new here, my name is Teaya Symone. Welcome to anybody who is new and here for the first time. But we do commentary, sometimes makeup over here, and we keep it classy. Hey, your mom. But anyway, hey, baby boop. But I think that this is important. I have actually done a live about this before a long time ago. It's good to educate, especially when it comes to things like this. But I do feel like this is something that needs to be called out because of the fact, and thank God for the people who inform me about these types of things because it's important, especially with the behavior that we have seen from Katie without a crystal ball, because of the behavior that she has displayed um, this past recent couple months with Miss Letitia and her family. I think it's important to call these types of things out, and I think she really, really showed her true colors, in my opinion, when it comes to Black people, with the way that she has so quickly just threw this family under the bus, used their criminal record against them, all the things that she's done, you can't undo them. And then you see her saying something like this, and even though it may be nothing, it's still something that can be turned into education. Because at the end of the day, not many people know too much about racial microaggression. And another thing, I think it's important for people to know it because in reality, 90% of people do it. Okay. I try to stop myself from doing that type of thing. Just like, I'll give you guys an example. Remember when I did a live stream about, um, what the hell's her name? Oh my God. My mind just went blank. Maybe. Sorry. Maybe. If you guys remember when I did a live stream about her, A lot of people were asking in the comment section, is she, oh no, Tia, KJ isn't racist. Her best friend told her. um, a lot of people were asking, is she a woman of color? Obviously, she's not. But because of the way that she talks, a lot of people just automatically assume, okay, is she like maybe biracial or something like that? Which Maybay is not. Maybay grew up around a dominantly Black people. So she says, that's just her saying that's what she says. But at the end of the day, we automatically assume those types of things when at the end of the day, in my opinion, race is not attributed to intelligence. So a lot of people do this, and I don't think that it's purposely or anything like that. Some people do it and they just don't know that they're doing it, but I don't believe that speaking with intelligence has anything to do with your race. So you'll never hear me say, oh, she acts Black or she acts white. And a lot of people have said that to me. No, my mom just taught me to speak the proper English. But in that same sense, some people grow up in different areas and things like that. And it just depends on the person. But you can't just sit there and automatically assume that a person acts a race. You can't act a race, but we all do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can tell that's just who she is. You can tell that she grew up, in a more urban area. So therefore, like with me, I grew up in the suburbs, but even when I would go to my brother's house who lived in the ghetto or whatever, if I did speak a certain way, I would get grounded. My mom would beat my ass because my mom taught me to speak with intelligence. It just varies from person to person, but you can't act a color. You know what I mean? And race is not attributed to any type of color. So I think that's important to I think it's important to talk about. But I agree, Native American here, and lots of folks always pretend to be Native American. It's true. I mean, I'm half Indian. My mom was Indian, half Indian, but my dad was Indian. And I can tell you, I think it's just, the way the world works. And racial microaggressions is something that should be called out. So I'm going to give you guys an example. There was a long time ago that I was feuding with someone. We're okay now. She did apologize to me because some people have no idea that they do it. And I have glitter on my shirt. Thank you. Um, so, oh my God, I used to hate that. Kids either saying you walk white or you talk ghetto. Hello. Yeah, it is. It's very irritating. And it's something that needs to stop. And it's not going to stop unless people talk about it, right? You have to talk about it. But I remember this was a long time. This was when I first started going live, and me and this girl were getting into it. Me and this girl. And she was live talking about me, talking and making fun of me, talking about my makeup, talking about my looks. Again, me and her are cool now, but talking about my looks, making fun of my makeup, all kinds of stuff, calling me a clown, blah, 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 cliche bullshit that I don't give a fuck about because at the end of the day, I don't care. You know what I mean? But at that time, we were going back and forth doing a tit for tat. And she said something. She said, you think you know how to do makeup, but the foundation you wear is way too light for your face. So I said, first of all, you've never seen my face before. Okay. You don't know if my foundation is too light for me or not, but you automatically assume because I'm a Black woman that I'm wearing a foundation that's too light for me. So I went live one day and I took all of my makeup off. And I said, who's laughing right now? Because it sure as hell ain't me. I'm laughing, but I'm laughing at you because you automatically assumed that I wore a foundation that was too light for my skin when you were absolutely wrong. Okay. First of all, I don't even wear foundation that much. I wear concealer. But at the end of the day, it is a racial microaggression That is to automatically assume that a Black woman is wearing a foundation that's lighter than her. That's a racial microaggression. And the reason why it is because in the Black culture, it goes back to like the brown paper bag rule, and it goes back to the slave days, when in the slave days you um, had to be as light as a brown paper bag or lighter than a brown paper bag to be able to be in a home slave. To be able to work in the home, you had to be lighter than that paper bag or the same color as that paper bag. So in it goes back to white supremacy. So in general, in the Black community, there's something called colorism. And unfortunately, in the Black community, we come in all shades, and some shades, like a shade like me or someone who's lighter than me, is going to get treated differently than a dark skinned woman like Serena Williams. Okay. Um, and then you have all of the things where people bleach their skin and all of that kind of stuff. And it's colorism is a huge problem in the Black community, but regardless, it's something that needs to be talked about. But I think a lot of people that I think a lot of people don't know when they're doing it. But when she said that, I did a video, I took off all my makeup, and I said, okay, so as a matter of fact, my concealer, and even when I do wear foundation, is actually darker than my skin tone. So you were wrong. And to automatically assume that is a racial microaggression. It doesn't mean that you're racist. It means that there are stereotypes against Black women, people of color, whatever you want to say. There's these huge stereotypes, and that's one of them. To automatically assume that me as a Black woman is wearing a foundation that's lighter than me because I want to be lighter than what I am. That's a microaggression. So instead of sitting there saying, oh my God, she's playing the race card and she's trying to do this, how about you sit and fucking listen? Because in no way, shape, or form did I think this girl was racist at all. I think she's just goes by a lot of stereotypes, and you're never going to learn unless you listen. Okay? So many people are so dismissive towards anything that Black people say because they don't want to hear the truth. Okay. And they'll automatically dismiss you and say, oh, she calls everyone racist, blah, 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 blah. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say. I don't care. That's not going to stop me from saying and speaking the truth. So, like I said, when she did that, even everybody in the comments were like, I know she has to feel stupid because it's, don't automatically assume something like that. And in a lot of, in Black communities, there are a lot of darker skinned women that are ashamed of the color of their skin, and they will wear lighter foundation or they'll even go to the extremes. Now there's different reasons. You look at Little Kim. Okay, she's a prime example of someone who is struggling with an identity crisis, that thinks that being lighter is better. And in a lot of ways in the Black community, it is. You do get treated differently than you would if you have lighter skin. Deeper skin women get treated differently than lighter skin women, even in the Black community. That's just the way it is. So it's definitely something to talk about. I just wanted to give you guys an example of racial microaggressions. But it's, like I said, me and this girl are cool now, but instead of always being so dismissive towards people, maybe listen, because at the end of the day, that has nothing to do with you being racist. It just has to do with ignorance, or saying that, I don't know, what's another example? Saying that all Mexicans only like, see, I'd never do it. So saying all Mexicans only like tacos, that is a racial microaggression. It is what it is. Hey, Mallory. That's so messed up, Sparkle. People are so ignorant. Hold on, I missed Sparkle's comment. They used to tell me I had to be mixed with something because I had good hair. Nope, sorry. My mama's black, my daddy's black. Black is black. Exactly. Um, black is black is black. Exactly. And it's the same thing. Um, I think that that is something that's just in the black community as far as like hair. And I love more, I just don't like my hair. Plus my hair thinned after I had COVID. So, but I do mix the front of my hair in sometimes with um, lace fronts. But regardless, I think it's wonderful how all types of hair is being more embraced in the black community. Okay. I think it's amazing. I love seeing black women more or less wear their more natural hair and getting rid of that whole good hair stereotype because I just don't like that either. But I tried very much not to be like that. My mother raised me not to be like that. But there may be times that I still may. And I will sit there and listen if somebody corrects me. Okay. I will. But that's the reason why I wanted to talk about this today. Because you have somebody like Katie, and I will call her out. I'm Mexican, you just made me laugh to you. It's not true though. Now I've had Mexican friends that do not like tacos. Okay. But it's a stereotype. It's just, to me, it's pure ignorance, you know? Or to say all black people like fried chicken. That's not true. It's just not. Even though my kids are biracial, my 12-year-old does not like fried chicken that much. He just don't. Um, or that all black people like watermelon, you know? That's just not true, but it's a racial microaggression. So the reason why, and I'm always gonna call Katie out on her bullshit, okay? And like I said, ever since she has been with this family, she has showed her true colors. And that happens a lot with people who are, you know, talking to someone, getting close to a family, and then automatically the things that Katie has done to Ms. Letitia and her family are very, very racial, microaggressive behavior. How she sat there and said that Ms. Letitia had a weapon that she was taking across state lines. If you're so educated about Black people, you would never have said something like that. But you know it's going to be all of the things that you've done, you knew it was going to be easier for people to believe because this is a Black family. You tried to dehumanize this Black family. You tried to villainize this Black family. And at the end of the day, I feel like this family was treated a lot differently than other families that she's dealt with. Now, that's just my opinion. Some of the things that she said, a majority of the things that she said is unacceptable, including what she said about Serena Williams last night. Now, I don't play when it comes to Beyonce, Serena, and Venus because they are strong, beautiful Black women that have fought very hard to get to where they are, especially in the tennis world that is predominantly white people. Katie tries to act like she is so educated when it comes to Black people. I have heard her say many of times that she knows somebody that was related to George Floyd and we have to be allies for Black people. You don't know shit when it comes to Black people, besides getting on Google and reading a computer when you're talking about Black people. So I feel like you villainized this family and made this family look like they're so criminal because you knew it would be easier for people to believe because they are Black. That's why I think you acted like this. And you talking about Serena Williams and the person that she is and how she literally, okay, which I'm going to show you bits and pieces of her live stream because I think it was on Instagram, so it was deleted. But obviously Llama Girl always has all the, she's just amazing. So I'm going to show you guys, some stuff, but regardless, it just shows you, it's a prime example of how ignorant she is and how I definitely think that this woman has some racial tendencies for sure. for sure. So I'm going to bring something up really quick. Hold on. Stop the camera real quick. Let me see here. Let me read a couple comments. If there's something important that you want me to see, just leave the comment again and I'll get it. My daughter was her only friend. They only lived here for 3 months, then moved to Florida because of the racism in this town. I don't blame them one bit. If I had known about it, I would have never. And that's the thing, you know, where I've gotten to in a place in my life, like I would never be friends with somebody who is a racist. Like I said, I do believe everyone can change from their past, but in the same sense, you really got to pay attention because a lot of times some people just don't. And I would never be friends with somebody who is friends with a racist either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want it in my circle. You have to protect your energy at all costs. And I will never align myself with anyone who is like that ever. So I think it's important to hold people accountable when it comes to these types of things, because people think that if you stop talking about it, it goes away. No, it doesn't. Sweeping things under the rug doesn't make things better. That's just a way of being dismissive. And I don't like that at all. Okay, so 1 second. I'm going to bring this up. Okay, so now I'm going to have you guys listen to this really quick. Whoops, my bad.
17. Popular culture. I feel like I don't remember 20 from 2012 to 2017, like ever. Serena lost. So I'm not a fan of Serena Williams and never have been. I know it's like totally an unpopular opinion, but I played tennis and was a tennis coach, and I've never been a fan of Serena. I was never a fan of Serena or Venus. I don't like Serena's temper. It's really, no. A couple years ago, she was losing in a final or in a quarterfinal or semifinal, and she broke her racket because she was so angry, and she was fighting with the judge about calls on the court, and it was so disappointing to see someone do that. As a coach and as a player for years, I would just, you have to keep your cool. You got to be respectful of your competition. And Serena, that happened when I was coaching like 13 and 14-year-olds. And so they loved her. And I'm trying to have to explain to them that the way that she behaved on the court is horrible. And you should never emulate that, because it's just, you should not treat your competition like that. And it was really sad, because the girl that won and eventually won the title, her entire match was like completely upstaged.
Okay. So the reason why I wanted to show you guys that clips, and we're going to look at some other clips too, but the reason why I wanted to show you that is because that, to me, is what pisses me off about this woman. How can you sit there and talk about Serena, okay, being this horrible person with this horrible temper, and explaining to people that you supposedly allegedly coached that she's not a person to look up to because of her temper? Do you know, if you know anything about tennis, you act as though Venus and Serena are the only two people that loses their temper on the tennis court. How come you didn't call them out? They're not the only two. Yes, they are, very famous, but see, Venus and Serena are not just very famous because of the way they play tennis, which they're phenomenal with that. I loved what do you call that? King James. That was a good ass movie, okay? If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's amazing. It gives you a good idea of everything that they went through and how tough their dad was on them. But regardless, at the end of the day, the reason why they're so famous is because they beat the odds. There was no Black people that were as successful as them, okay? No Black women that were as successful as them. Venus and Serena broke all records. So give credit to where it's due. But how ironic it is that, or yes, King Richard, I'm sorry. Thank you so much. But how ironic it is that you can actually sit there and talk about Venus and Serena and their tempers. They're not the only ones who have tempers. Like, shame on you for doing something like that. Not only do I think that Katie is also a woman hater, okay, I think she just can't stand women, but I really am questioning this woman and her being very, very racist, in my opinion. I'm sorry. I find it very odd that with all the people that lose their tempers on the tennis court, that you chose Venus and Serena. Okay? How can you claim to not be racist but put down two of the most amazing, powerful Black women that broke through so many white barriers? That's what I'm trying to say. Okay? Even anybody, any person, okay, no matter what shade you are, knows that about Venus and Serena. They have beat the odds. They have broke all kinds of records that has never been done before. And you target them, just them, as losing their tempers and telling the people that you coach that they're not someone to look up to. So I'm going to show you guys something else. Look at Ryan O'Neal. He was pretty hot-headed. Exactly. I'm going to show you guys something else real quick. 1 second. Let me pull it up.
She loved them out loud.
What's important in your home?
Family. How ironic is it that we are now watching? That's God telling me you're doing the right thing, Teaya. How ironic is it that this is a commercial about Venus and Serena? Okay. How amazing is that? Okay.
Family's important?
Yes. When the world wanted her to be less powerful, she hit even harder.
How dare you talk about these women? You should be ashamed of yourself, Katie. And you are showing, okay, that you definitely, something ain't right. And I'm just going to say that right now. This woman beat all the odds. She is an amazing, phenomenal woman. And the fact that you threw her, just her, you know, she's the only one that has a temper on the tennis court. She's the only one. Shut the fuck up, Katie. How about that?
When her body was too much for some, she made the world envious. She refused to hide her flair or what was on her mind.
I want to be that role model, and I've always embraced being a role model, but now it's even more so.
She is a role model. Okay? She is a role model to all women, period, no matter the shade of your skin, Katie. Okay? Shame on you to sit there and talk about and just single out these women and sit there and tell the people that you allegedly coached that they're not people to look up to because they lose their temper. Everyone loses their temper on the tennis court. Everyone does. That doesn't define her. That doesn't make her any less of a role model.
Couldn't stop winning over and over and over again.
She's a phenomenon, an icon, a legend.
She didn't change who she was. And that changed everything for all of us.
You probably know Vistaprint for business cards, but did you know we also print that and that?
Come on.
That's it.
That's world.
No, we're not going to watch tennis. But I am going to show you a couple people that get angry on the tennis court besides Venus and Serena. Okay? Let's show you right now. Hey, Miss Letitia, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. You guys see that? Like, I would probably be mad too on the tennis court. I don't like tennis. I like badminton. But regardless, like, people get upset. They do. A lot of women, a lot of men, you know, regardless. But it's funny how Katie picks Black women. You know, it'd be really nice if Katie would just shut her fucking mouth. How about that? You guys get the point. I will say that this guy's pretty handsome. But regardless, it shows you how upset tennis players get. Women, men, all across the world. It is what it is. Tennis players just get upset because, you know, how would you feel like if you're just, you know, hitting a ball back and forth and then you miss it? Like, I would be upset too, right? Anybody would be upset. So for you to just say, if you're supposed to be such a, you know, a tennis coach or whatever the hell whatever, you would know that. You would know how easy it is to get mad on that tennis court. So for you to single out Venus and Serena, don't you guys think that that's a little bit odd? What do you guys think? Quite funny how the tennis players she likes are Jennifer Capriati and Peace Sampras, two white Americans. Exactly. From what I saw, Serena was defending herself against bad calls. Yes, she was, Miss Letitia. Very, very much. It is a lot in it, and also some of the calls that would happen with Venus and Serena both. To be honest with you, a lot of those calls were questionable. I'm not even saying this because I adore them. I'm just saying it because it's real. It's real. Like literally, I've watched tennis matches where they have called different things, and the calls that they made was in favor of the other player. And I would be like, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know tennis that well, and that was a bad call. And it would be them getting defensive. Venus and Serena have definitely lost their tempers, but most tennis players do. 99.9% of tennis players get mad when it's a bad call, when they miss a ball that they feel like they should have missed. The point is that she might as well just go ahead and say it. She doesn't like Venus and Serena because of they are beautiful, strong Black women that have broke more records than anyone that plays tennis. And a majority of women look up to them and they're Black. And that's why you call them out, because you don't like that they are successful, strong Black women. That's my opinion. Take it however you want to. I don't care. People can dismiss me. They can say whatever. That's still never going to shut me up. It never has, and it never will. Okay? I don't think she was that much of a player, so probably doesn't recognize any other names to mention. I definitely don't see her being a coach either. That's why I'm saying allegedly. I personally, I don't know about it. I find it very weird. She hates that they are so successful. They are living a life she could never have. Exactly. John McEnroe is infamous for his antics on the court. Right. So is calling a bitchy, pain ass white woman a Karen. Okay, it bugs me because of my name, but I'm with a Y, so it doesn't count. I'm gonna do a video about that one day, because I don't necessarily like people that are being called a Karen. I think it's depending upon the situation. Sometimes I think people use that whole Karen, analogy to be dismissive towards people that are trying to say something. But I do understand where it comes from women who complain all the time and stuff like that. But I've also noticed that word Karen being used for women who are feminist, women who stand up for racial injustice, women who stand up for the mistreatment of homosexuals, the LGBTQ community, people who stand up for that. I have seen people who are advocates who are purposely being called Karens to be shut up. So it's very, very, I will say that it's a very tricky thing. I don't know who came up with the word or whatever, but very rarely do I use the word Karen, because I do believe that it's a word that's being used to dismiss someone. Not everyone, but for the most part, I think it is. I think when people are advocates and they stand up for things, the first thing that they're called is a Karen. And I think it's to be dismissive and to shut people up. Yes, that too. That too. Totally agree with you about that. Women using their voices. Yeah, I think it is. But then, yes, it is also like, did you guys see that movie, Karen? Because I seen it and it was pretty good. Crazy, but good. Teaya, do you still throw hands? It's been a while. If you're talking about what I think you're talking about, it's been a while. But I've thrown hands a lot throughout my life. That's just the truth. Okay, so I think we get the point with this. I'm trying to make you guys understand Don't you find that odd that she just singled out Venus and Serena, and then you have seen the negative way that she has treated Miss Letitia and her family? So doesn't that make you look at her and say, your racism is starting to show? It really is. And hold on, I got one more thing to show before we look at some of her clips. I'm going to pull this up. Okay. You guys probably won't be able to read it, but I will read it. Okay. So it says racial microaggressions, definition, examples, and practical actions. Okay. It says if you want your organization to be anti-racist, you need to understand what microaggressions are and to ensue all staff know that they will not be tolerated within your workplace culture. By understanding and acting, you can ensure your workplace is an ethical and inclusive environment that champions diversity and leverages it to succeed. What is microaggression? Microaggressions are defined as patterned behaviors by individuals in a majority group, typically white people, that undermine, belittle, stereotype, or insult those in minority groups, usually Black, Asian, and minority ethnic individuals. 2007 describes microaggressions as the new face of racism, and that they have become more common as overt shows of racism have become rarer. That's not okay to say they are any less harmful. However, it is important to acknowledge that the very word microaggression is felt by many to minimize the impact of seriously discriminative behaviors. What are examples of racial microaggressions? There are many varied microaggressions. I spoke to a young Black engineer only a few weeks ago who described experiencing microaggressions that many people would think of as unthinkable in the 21st century. She described people commenting on and touching her hair without permission, telling her she was pretty for a Black girl and clever considering where she came from. Recently, right before a meeting where she was to be the only Black person in the room and about to give an important presentation, she experienced colleagues talking about how all lives matter. Time and time again, Black, Asian, and minority ethnic staff from a wide range of organizations across all sectors talk to our consultants of hundreds of variations of these microaggressions, being made to feel unwelcome due to being talked over, left out of invitations to lunch, or receiving frequent comments about their clothes, hair, musical, or culinary preferences. These microaggressions are pervasive throughout society. Most supermarkets used to have shelves of food labeled exotic. Some still do, which begs the question, exotic to who and compared to what? Some Black, Asian, and minority ethnic men and women are exoticized, I can never say that right, in terms of their sexuality or supposed behaviors. Today, they are still asked where they are really from or are deemed to be too passive, aggressive, or in any other quality compared to the standards of the white majority. When on the receiving end, these behaviors often do not feel micro. If someone is wronged or insulted, whatever the intention, they still feel hurt. If the microaggressions continue, even unintentionally, they can have significantly negative effect on people, including harming a person's outlook on their place in society, their drive to succeed, or their ability to grow professionally. So you have to understand the stereotypes. It says we all need to educate ourselves on how we stereotype others. In particular, important for white people to do this as the stereotypes of Black, Asian, and minority ethnic people seen in the media and in the criminal justice system, for example, are not positive ones. As a white person, I have never been pulled over by the police or stopped and searched, and I don't experience the media jumping to conclusions about my attitude, behaviors, or aspirations because of my ethnicity. White people need to listen to the experiences of Black people and educate ourselves. You guys get it. So those are some examples of racial microaggression. Just like I told you, this girl automatically assumed that the foundation that I was wearing was too light. When I took my foundation off, she was wrong. You know what I'm saying? But it's a stereotype. Or how even that coworker is, Sparkle said it earlier too. Coworkers touching her hair, or saying you're pretty for a Black girl. I've heard that a lot throughout my life. And it sucks when I used to hear it, but then as I got older, when I used to hear it, I used to look at them and be like, is that supposed to be some kind of compliment or something? Because it's not a compliment to me. Black women in general are beautiful, just like white women are beautiful, just like Chinese women are beautiful. It doesn't matter. If you're beautiful, you're beautiful. But to single out someone because of their race and say, oh, you're pretty for a Black girl, that's like saying Black girls just aren't pretty. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important because, in my opinion, when Katie does these types of things, I really do feel like some people have racism in them and they don't even know it. They just don't. To me, I feel like eventually it's an insult, right, warrior? Eventually your true colors are going to come shining through regardless. And just like with Katie saying it's just singling out Venus and Serena, it put up a red flag for me. I had already had a red flag up, but there are no more benefit of the doubt with her when it comes to racism, in my opinion. Because she would not have singled Venus and Serena out if she, for one, was for the Black Lives Matter movement, like she's always claimed that she was, talking about how we need to be advocates for Black people. But in the same breath, you want to sit there and put down two of the most successful women that beat all the odds in America. Okay? Thank you for educating us. We as a society have a responsibility to realize our own wrongdoings and call others out on their racist BS. It is not people of color's job to educate us. Thank you, Rianne. I appreciate that. And like I said, I don't like, no, I do like having these conversations, but it's the people who are dismissive. Oh my God, did I get a super chat? I'm sorry I missed your super chat, Rianne. Thank you for always giving us amazing content. You're gorgeous, queen. Oh, thank you, beautiful. Oh, I love your picture. You are gorgeous. Thank you. I'm sorry that I missed it. Thank you so much. I don't like having to explain myself to dismissive people. People who are dismissive and say, whatever, Teaya, you're just a mad, angry Black woman, blah, 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 blah. I mean, that's that's a normal, typical thing that people say to be dismissive towards Black people overall. But in the same sense, I feel like if there's no education, then there's going to always be ignorance to things like this. Exactly, Goose. Ignorant is bliss. KJ's husband is as bad as she is. I agree. And I think the one thing that's important is I've never really seen anybody calling KJ out for this. Maybe people have, I'm not sure, but I've never really seen people paying attention to this. But I do think from her being and throwing Ms. Letitia, Ms. Wynette under the bus so quickly and going so hard to try to convince people that they're frauds and bringing up past criminal records and calling her the bio mom, you know, as soon as she gets mad, like she's always supposed to get her way, you know, especially in my opinion, I think she thought she was going to get her way and get over on this Black family. That's my opinion. She is trying to act like she is a shining pillar of activism, but really she is nothing but a piece of. I agree. She is nothing more than a piece. I agree. Exactly. Katie knows what she's doing. I have called her out on her behavior. It's just abhorrent. Exactly. Chronically be Queen Bee. I just think that it's time to start holding her accountable when it comes to these things too. A lot of people don't you did and you got blocked? Aw, I'm sorry, Warrior. You don't need her anyway. She's a terrible human being, period. Yes, she is. Overall, in general, she's a terrible human being. I think when you call these types of things out, it's a sensitive subject, and a lot of people have their own opinions about racial microaggressions and racial microaggressive behavior and racism overall. People do have their opinion about it. Just like when I think that there are some racial undertones in the Justice for Vaughn case, that's just my opinion. I don't feel that it would, we see it every day, you guys. I just feel like this case would have been treated completely differently if this person was not, if Vaughn wasn't a minority, if he wasn't Black. And I look at that when it comes to a lot of cases and things like that. It's everywhere and it's so blatant. And some people think, don't you want this cycle to end if you just stop talking about it? No, that just, you want me to stop talking about it because it makes you feel uncomfortable, but I'm not here to make you feel comfortable. Okay? Sweeping things up under the rug or pretending like it doesn't exist doesn't make it better. It's just like Jay-Z, love Jay-Z, genius. Just like Jay-Z said, when you have a tumor, you're not just going to ignore it and let it go away and hope that it goes away, right? If you don't treat it, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. No, you have to address it. You have to, you have to go to the doctors. You have to get an MRI. You have to get a biopsy. You have to treat it and stop it so it won't spread, right? And that's the same thing with racism, you guys. That's the same thing with, being hateful, towards people who are gay or being, judging somebody by the color of their skin. All of these types of things, racial microaggressions, all of them. If you just ignore it, it just gets bigger and it just makes it easier for people to be racist. It makes it easier for people which I think people who are in the closet racist, in my opinion, are the worst kind because you just never know. You know what I'm saying? I would rather meet someone who is a blatant racist than meet someone who pretends that they're not and who pretends as if they're an advocate, Beyonce and Jay-Z are nefarious deviants. Everybody has their opinion about Jay-Z and Beyonce. I happen to think that they are amazing people, but I also don't like some of the things that they do as a whole, as far as the things that they practice and those type of things. But at the end of the day, I do very much love Beyonce and Jay-Z and their whole aspect, and they have helped a lot of people in this world. So, no, I wouldn't think that you are, Lena. Katie is a pick me girl. She wants to be the one that gets the attention, credit, subs, and she will jump on whatever is a hot topic. And she then goes against the popular opinion just to get attention. Sounds like Critical K. Yeah. It's crazy how much shit she says talking about Miss Letitia, knowing she was driving cross country and could be carrying plus a black 7M dancer, and how he should pay more child support. Oh yeah, it's never ending, and now I think it's important for people to start calling it out more. No, not just really been called out on this. I'm glad we have someone representing. It needed to be talked about what's going on with this current family. She is trying to destroy their lives and hate. I agree. I get it all the time. I get a lot of mixed racial, and I'm proud to be mixed. Yes, I am. Good, Faith. Phoenix, yes, all lives do matter. However, Black Lives Matter was born to get everyone to understand that Black Lives Matter too, because they are not treated or valued in the same way. Yes, yes. All lives matter. That's a given. You know what I'm saying? All lives should matter. But in the same sense, all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. That's the whole point of it. You can't say all lives matter if Black lives don't matter. So that's what it's saying. We're not saying that all lives don't matter. It's just that it's never going to be all until Black lives matter. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys a couple clips. Just look at Brittany Grant, right? It wasn't talked about regarding her false imprisonment until big stars started saying something. If it was Sue Bird, would she still be locked up? I agree, Warrior. That's some honesty. Yep. 100. Shit, KJ loses her temper when someone asks her a question. She's a hypocrite and on. You're so right, Karen. Poor KJ, the victim. KJ, not everything is all about you. Yes, please, you guys make sure that you're on live chat. Okay, so I'm going to bring up something else real quick. That was funny. Sorry, guys, having technical difficulties. Hold on one second. Hi, Goose. Hey, Phoenix. KJ's niece and nephews changed color and became black when she was trying to be relatable after the George Floyd case was over. She even tried to claim his girlfriend was a friend. That's what I was saying. I remember her trying to say that she knew George Floyd somehow, you know, and I actually believed her when she said, you know, we need to be, because she sounded very convincing, you know, she's like, we need to be allies for, why is this not coming up? She's her saying we need to be allies for Black people, you know, all of those types of things. I was like, wow, you know, like maybe this girl really is the real deal. You know, I think that's amazing to sit there and say something like that, you know. But in the same sense, that's not how she is. Look at the way that she has acted thus far when it comes to the Black Lives Matter movement. Hold on, you guys. I need to look at my Twitter real quick. I'm trying to get onto Twitter, and for some reason, it's not working. So let me see something real quick. Let me see. I'll just put in my username. But yeah, I seriously thought, oh, okay, this girl, you know, maybe she really is an ally for Black people. Maybe she is an advocate, whatever. That is a bust. I think she has proven to everybody that she's not. Okay, I found it. Why in the hell? Sorry, you guys. Sorry about that noise. I don't understand why I keep getting logged out of Twitter. Twitter. That's so weird. All right, we're good. I don't like how I keep getting logged out of it though. I think that's really weird. Okay, so let me find this really quickly. Thanks you guys for hanging in there with me. We are going to take a trip to Llama Girl's Twitter, because Llama Girl has all of the info that anyone could need on KJ. I tell you guys all of the time, if you want to know something about KJ, go watch Llama Girl, because she has all of the information that you would ever need for her. All right. She showed me a video of how to do it right, because oh, okay. Thank you, Llama Girl. She's so amazing. I think I'm doing it right. Oh, media. Don't mind me, you guys. I'm just talking to myself. Okay, let me share my screen. Yep, I'm just talking to myself. Okay. Yes, Llama Girl time. She's so pretty. Okay. Did I press the media button? Yeah, I pressed the media button. Okay, so we're going to scroll through Llama Girl's Twitter, and her link is always in my description, you guys, and we're going to take it all the way to the beginning. Normally, I would go on her page, but I'm not going to do that because obviously I don't think Instagram does that.
Hello. Hello. I'm trying to get this all like, hello, hi, hello. Hot Mess Express. Just finished my working on my channel. Super late day. I was like this morning, totally, it's like the last week before my son goes back to school. So I was like soaking in the morning with him. We had the whole floor he had the whole floor set up as like Hot Wheels City. And he was in such a good mood today. And it was just like an amazing day. So yes. And now it's all cleaned up. Yeah. So I got started late. I got uploaded late. Yes, Cody. He is so annoying. Just sent your daughter to the last year in college. Oh my goodness. You know, earlier today I was oh, thank you. I actually need to get my hair cut. It's kind of like a hot mess right now. And I don't know.
First of all, I also want to say, yeah, I talked to myself and I answer myself. I also want to say that her views are definitely getting lower, you guys. I would say that. I mean, I know she has a lot of followers on Instagram and Facebook, and as many followers as she has, no way should she only have 86 views. So that definitely should show you some stuff, like should tell you something. Her true colors are showing and people are starting to see it every single day. It's where the KJ wants credit for doing daily mom duties. Exactly. I've always found that people who brag about, you know, the things that you're supposed to do as a mother definitely shows that you probably don't do those things often, and that's why you're bragging about them, you know? Oh, I'm sorry. Not 86. 816 views, and that's still not good for how many followers she has. Granted, they are mostly bots, in my opinion. It's so true. All her views are way low on YouTube, especially on lives. It is, and it's something to pay attention to. I think that shows a lot. I think it says a lot because ever since she started talking about the Dre McCray case story and showed how horrible of a person that she is, the way she treated Miss Letitia, Miss Lynette, and just the statements that she's making, the things that she's saying, I think people are starting to see very clearly who she truly is. There's no reason why she should only have 816 views with as many followers as she has. So that should tell you something.
I hope any of you guys like lost like hair when you got COVID, but I lost like a bunch of hair, and like it's just been like this huge process. I have like all these wispies that have been coming.
First of all, another thing that I want to say, I have myself, my hair has thinned because of COVID, but I think hers was thinning prior to getting COVID.
And it's just a mess. Like I have this whole chunk right here that like fell out from COVID. It's frustrating. It's growing back, but it's all coming back gray. So frustrating. Yes. So yeah, it was like all just like coming out in clumps.
Okay, so these views that she has, thank you, Llama Girl. The views that these aren't her views. So the views that she has is on top. The views on the bottom is Llama Girl's. So the 816 views, that's not Katie. The views that are on top, which is 372, that's her views. So just to let you guys know, to avoid any kind of confusion or anything. Thank you, Llama Girl. She's not here because she has a migraine. So I hope you feel better, sweetie.
Yeah. So my hairstylist gave me this shampoo that's like
Mind you guys, these clips are 2 minutes and something seconds. So just wanted to let you guys know that, because I don't think that this video, I'm sure it's deleted, you know, and Llama Girl's the only one who has these videos. Why is it not staying on here? She's the only one that has these videos. So just to let you guys know, they're only 2 minutes. So Llama Girl does all of this work. Shout out to Llama Girl, because she's just amazing. So
Well, I think I started using Xenogen in, I don't know, June or May. So it was months of that. And I went to the hairstylist and I was like, I don't know what to do. So it was months. It's not $250. I did not spend $250. It was $60 for a bottle. So yeah, but it's definitely like, it reduces the shedding of your hair. I don't know. Long story short, if it was bad, and it's a known side effect of COVID. So I had like clumps of it. I've never had hair loss. The only other time I've had hair loss, I would say I've had hair loss like that was similar, was when I had my baby. And after I had my baby. Yeah, it's definitely like reducing. It's not like, it doesn't really do hair growth so much. It just like reduces shedding, and it like gives your body, I don't know. You're a stylist, you see it every day, including myself. Yeah. I'm not checking with my doctor. Goodbye. Yeah, you can have it after any.
wait a second. Wait a second. Did she literally just block someone because they told her to check with her doctor? Are you serious? Like, that is something out of concern. That's not somebody being rude. That's somebody saying, you know, you still should check with your doctor just to make sure everything's okay, because there's a lot of reasons. Like, I know I have to go to the doctor too, because there's a lot of reasons why you could lose your hair. It could also be from, you know, hormones. It could be from thyroids. It could be anything. So somebody saying you should check with your doctor. Did you literally just block that person because of that? You're disgusting. And somebody asked, is KJ racist? I don't know. What do you think? In my opinion, yes, I do think she is. I don't think she knows she is, but yes, I do think that she is. That's just my opinion. She has, I feel like, more racist tendencies, which that's somebody who doesn't know that they are. I think she's very ignorant. And I think it confirmed it for me today when she just specifically pointed her fingers at Venus and Serena. Two strong Black women.
Any serious illness. I'm totally fine. My thyroid's fine, you guys. It's totally fine. It was COVID. Okay. But yeah, my hair is definitely feeling like a lot healthier ever since I've been using this. I don't use this shampoo, or I don't use the conditioner with it. Yeah, I think everyone's different. Anyways, so what was I coming on here to talk about? Yeah. It's not a prescription. It's not Rogaine. It's nothing like that. It's literally like a hair thickening something. Okay. It's literally just like a hair thickening thing. It's, yeah, Xenogen. It reduces your shedding. That's what it does. Oh, yeah, you left my other video to see this. Why did I come on here? What was I going to tell you about? I had this whole thing I was going to tell you guys about. It's been a long day.
I'm pretty sure she did this video either today or yesterday. And another thing too, you guys, in no way, shape, or form is KJ going to get away with the things that she has done when it comes to, you know, Ms. Letitia, Ms. Wynette, you know, whether it's karma or whatever the situation is, she's not going to slither her way out of it. You literally handed your information that you had on the Justice for Vaughn situation, the story, you handed your information over to Unirock to continue to do your dirty work. Okay. And now that you see that there are some serious repercussions for what you have done, you left Unirock out to dry and you're not talking about this at all anymore. Okay. And the only reason why you're not talking about it is because you think, I'm just going to slither my way out of this as if I never talked about it. No, it doesn't work that way. You may think it works that way, but it doesn't. You don't do that much damage and think that you're going to get away with it, because you're not. Just because you're not talking about it anymore, that don't mean shit. It doesn't mean shit. And now you're just, you know, going to throw Unirock under the bus because that's what you do.
Oh, okay. So, no, not the Duggars. So, okay. So I was watching.
The live stream was Friday night. Llama Girl just texted me and said that.
A bunch of sickos in Arkansas, maybe. So, no, I was watching a lot of, okay, so first things first. I'm just going to say, like, I have not paid attention to a lot of the Southern Baptist churches. I haven't been, like, I followed when the Guidepost investigation was done, and then they released the details of the investigation. And then that independent investigation was not favorable to them at all. The leadership were shown to have blatantly covered up crimes, moved people around, shamed victims, made victims feel like they were a distraction, not worth it, like horrible. And then like they released like this spreadsheet of like 700 pastors that they knew of that had allegations against them of sexual assault, sexual abuse, and the majority of these cases involved children. And they had never released this database before. And so he's part of the Acts 29 churches, and he's like the president of that. And so it's like this affiliate bros network of all these guys that sit around and talk about how great they are as pastors, and they are huge mega church, like multi-site churches that are obsessed with growth, and they really don't care about the content that they do. They just really are obsessed with growth and money. They're basically running like
Before I play the next clip, I just want to say something. Like, I don't know the ins and outs of everything that she's talking about, which I will definitely be figuring that out. But regardless, why do you always have to pick on people, Katie? Like, I don't know what's going on. To me, I feel like Katie also has something against people who are Christians or religious in any way. I think that she has some kind of vendetta against anyone who are Christians. And it's like, why are you always like that? You know, and it's like when you're describing a lot of people, it's like projection. It's you describing yourself. Okay, you have zero self-awareness at all, and it's like you still continue to slander people and to make false allegations all the time. I mean, it never stops with this woman.
They're not taxed. They're not taxed because they're churches. And they have like these whole marriage conferences. They're super homophobic. Like there's a whole thing where Matt like talks about conversion therapy and telling people not to be gay and how they can avoid being gay. And it's just very, very toxic beliefs. And then that, like how they feel about women. So I'm like watching all these videos of him and his wife talking about their relationship. And I'm like, I don't think she even knows that she's being emotionally abused, in my opinion. Well, they're on TV. They're all streaming. Let me see if I can show you. I like screen recorded a bunch of stuff. And the way that his wife talks, it just made me so sad for her. She sounds like just so, I don't even know, scared. Let's see, what is this one?
It's enough, that his grace is sufficient for my life. And even today, the whispers haven't stopped. They definitely are more muted than they've been. And I've been able to recognize them when they come as, honestly, attacks from the enemy, because I do know some of those are old whispers that I've allowed, that I've put up with, that were just a part of my life and growing up, that now I can see, okay, that's a strategy of the enemy to take some of my flesh and use it against me. And now I can say, hey, I'm not going to put up with that anymore. The truth is that Christ is enough. His grace is sufficient for me. That I am who I'm supposed to be because he's made me to be who I am. And I don't have to be anyone else but me. And will I grow? Will I mature? I hope so. Like I want to change in a lot of ways. But even just with COVID and being locked up and just not having these places to be distracted, I've found those whispers come.
So, what is the point of you showing this and you talking about this? I'm just saying, to me, I feel like this person, Katie, has something against, like, is there anybody that she does like, right? She has something against people who are religious. Even the video that I did find where she was making fun of this woman doing her makeup, this woman was very religious. She's a Christian. So it's like, it just feel like she picks on people who are religious. Now, I'm not saying that every single person are religious people. I do believe that the Duggars definitely have their problems. But in the same sense, to me, it's all projection, because you're unhappy with yourself, and misery loves company. Just because you don't believe in anything, Katie, doesn't mean nobody else doesn't. That's probably why you're so miserable, because you believe in nothing. Okay? Maybe if you believed in something, you'd be more happier. Just saying.
Is that before I would try to
corporations, but they're not taxed because they're churches. And they have like these whole marriage conferences. They're super homophobic. Like there's a whole thing where Matt like talks about conversion therapy and telling people not to be gay and how they can avoid being gay. And it's just very, very toxic beliefs. And then that, like how they feel about women. So I'm like watching all these videos of him and his wife talking about their relationship. And I'm like, I don't think she even knows that she's being emotionally abused, in my opinion. Well, they're on TV. They're all streaming. Let me see if I can show you. I like screen recorded a bunch of stuff.
prove that those whispers were wrong, and I would defend myself against those
based on anything that was just a part of it. But he actually flat out admits this, that he does this to her. It's so disgusting. Hold on. And they say that this is all in the past. I just don't buy that. I don't believe that it's in their past at all. I think that it's still a part of their present.
whispers. And the difference has been that this time I let Matt into the whisper.
Where is it? Oh, so frustrating. I know where it is. It's like a 5-minute clip. Here.
Live and maybe some of the wounds she was going to heal. Never hide the fact. I don't think it's good for anybody for me to hide the fact that the first few years were really difficult for us. The best way to put it is I had this over-romanticized view of what marriage was and what Lauren was going to bring to my life, and maybe some of the wounds she was going to heal and some things that she was going to be for me that she can't be, that I should have never expected her to be. For me, the problem in our marriage was Lauren. I would look for evidence to support this theory that Lauren was selfish and that Lauren was inconsiderate, and I would try to find, but because I never wanted to be a yeller or then what I would do, and this is maybe worse, is I would just grow real cold and pouty because there's nothing more.
And I said, man, so I don't know if I should tell the story, but it was a situation where I questioned my decision.
And the way that his wife talks, it just made me so sad for her.
And then that questioned my decision.
He has thoughts of harming children, that he has thought of, like, I don't know if he actually harmed children, but he was like, I'm attracted to kids.
I want to read something that Llama Girl just said on here. It says, KJ always gets excited talking about pedos. Big bad KJ using the F-bomb. See, here's the thing. She does. Like, I don't understand why she always has to dehumanize people. You know what I'm saying? Like, she dehumanizes Christians, Black people. Like, I feel like she dehumanizes everybody, but in the same sense, she does get excited when she talks about this kind of stuff. It's very, very weird. And you're always finding someone to pick on. And every single time you find somebody to pick on, you get fixated and obsessed. And then you start making false allegations. And then it becomes slander. And you end up in court. It's the same thing. It's the same regurgitated bullshit every single time. Maybe you should think about you know, it's funny how you can talk about other people covering, you know, reality stars and being on reality TV. But at the end of the day, I think that this is all what you do is you project. And I think it has to do with you not having a good life. That's what I think. Because, like I always say, and I will continue to say, happy people do not go around trying to make other people's lives miserable. They just don't.
Like, I'm totally into kids. I'm watching child pornography. I'm getting off on it. Like, it's disgusting. And he flat out confesses this to her and confesses this to the church. And she's like, we need to go. And they pull him out of the missions field, right? Mind you, this doesn't get fucking reported to the police. When she gets home, the woman is like, I am not going to be married to this man. He has literally put me in a position where my kids are not safe. And I got married to him based upon a lie. And anyways, so she is a member of the church. And so publicly, outside of the church, she decides, I need to get an annulment because this whole marriage is based upon a lie. She gets and seeks and successfully receives an annulment for her marriage. When the church leadership finds out about the fact that she got an annulment, they fucking disciplined her publicly to the entire church and spiritually abused her because she got a divorce from a pedophile without.
Now, see, here's the thing. How do we know she's telling the truth? Because all she does is lie. So how do we know? You're right. It is disturbing, Una. Is it Una? Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but you're right. It's very disturbing. This whole cycle that it's the same thing every single time. But the point is that she lies so much. How are we supposed to know if when she's telling the truth or when she's lying? Does she have any evidence that she was spiritually tortured? Okay. That's what I want to know.
Going through them. And they asked her, Jordan Root, yeah. And she asked to have her membership revoked. She did not want to be a part of the church anymore. And they told her, you can't not be a member. Like, you can't revoke your membership. And in their membership, like 5-page rules, it basically says that you are giving us permission to like have authority over your life. So she's like, I don't want to be a member of your church. And they're like publicly humiliating her because she got an annulment from her husband, who is a pedophile. They were not shaming Jordan Root for being a pedophile, mind you. They were shaming Karen for wanting to leave him, and they said that she didn't have biblical grounds. This is Matt's church. This is Matt Chandler that just stepped down. And so there's all these people that are like shocked by Matt's behavior and how he would be inappropriate. And I'm like, when was it okay for him? Like, this is the line that you guys drew in the sand as church leaders. Like, this was it. It wasn't when he, like, y'all shamed Karen because she wanted to leave a pedophile. Or there's an 11-year-old girl that was sexually assaulted at a camp that was hosted by this group in 2011. And she was assaulted by one of their pastors. And so in 2018, the girl like finally tells her parents, and then the parents tell the church, and the church and them, they all report this to police. And they don't notify the whole church about this guy that's sexually assaulted this little girl. And he gets criticized for the way that he manages the sexual assault of this little girl. And the elders are dealing with it, not him. Oh, Mr. Pope actually is a former member. It says the Plano campus ministers at Village Church were caught spouse swapping while we were there. No joke. Thank you for sharing that. So the little girl, now an adult, sues the church. The church had been in litigation with her since 2019, and they finally settled the case, right? Now, mind you, in 2018 and 2019, Matt publicly stated that like they were handling the situation and they felt terrible for the victim and they were walking side by side with the family. When this case settled, they said there was no fault, like the church did nothing wrong, and they were not responsible. And then they said about this victim that she could not identify the perpetrator and positively and say that it was him, the pastor that assaulted her. She was 11 when this happened. And it was someone it was a staff member. So their reaction.
Okay, Katie. Even if this is true, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to continue to exploit it as if this family hasn't gone through enough and been exploited enough, the family that you're talking about? Are you going to continue to exploit it like you do the Duggars? What exactly are you going to do to help this family? Okay, maybe bringing awareness to it would be a good thing. But in my opinion, you're not going to do shit but exploit it and collect money. That's it. You're going to get money off of exploiting the situation. Running your mouth and talking about it really isn't going to do shit. Yes, it may bring awareness, but it's still not going to do shit. And we all know that your intentions are not because you want to help this family. Your intentions are shoving this down your supporters' throats so they like it as much as you do, so you can earn clicks and views and revenue. I'm just saying, have you done anything to help the Duggars? You gonna bring people on your panel that has went through that firsthand? What exactly are you gonna do to help this family besides running your mouth and talking about it like it's fucking gossip? When it's obviously serious. And these are survivors. I'm just saying.
Was nothing wrong happened. She couldn't even identify him. We did nothing wrong. And the family is fine, right? It's just disappointing. I don't know. I didn't know about these whole Acts 29 guys. I've been watching a bunch of his sermons and I'm just like, I'm disgusted. I'm so disgusted that women are brainwashed to thinking that they have to like be subservient to these men and that they're told they're spiritually abusing women into believing that emotional abuse is okay. And then they're saying that they're not emotionally abusing women. It's disgusting. And
that's funny to me, KJ. The queen of hypocrisy. Because at the end of the day, you emotionally abuse every single person that you encounter on the internet. So it looks to me like you have something in common with these people. Just my opinion. That's one of the reasons why people think you're so dangerous, KJ, because you emotionally abuse people. You bully them. You talk about them. You dig up their past. You use their past against them. You sometimes put them in danger. Right? So what exactly is it that you're going to do again to help this family? I'll try. All right.
And divorcing a pedophile. A church would ever get mad at a woman divorcing a pedophile. Hi, Trisha. Yes, I noticed all of the dancing stuff. I am not going to confirm or deny anything about what's happening there right now. Yeah. No man's going to tell me that I can't divorce someone. And by the way, I just want to put this out there. No church has the authority to tell you that you can or cannot get married, divorced. No church has authority over your choices as a person. You have rights and free will. You have legal rights in the United States of America that protect your civil rights of your autonomy, your equality. There's literally, oh, hi, Maddie. Hi, sweetheart. I hope school's going well. You have autonomy. No church gets to tell you who you get to, what you do, and if a church shames you for doing what's right for yourself, they're not the church for you. Yes, Anna Duggar, you can get a divorce. Josh has broke his vows a million times over. We've just been talking about this, all these just
How do we know that your husband followed his vows, KJ? We don't live with you. We don't know what goes on in your life. It's really easy to sit up there on your pedestal and judge other people on the way they live their life. But what about you? We don't know. It's easy to try to sit there and act like you're so perfect, right? You don't make any mistakes and your husband's so perfect. Even I can sit here and say, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. But when you exploit these types of situations, that's what pisses me off about her. Because this is nothing to be exploited. You should be trying to help. Instead of running your damn mouth and turning it into content, maybe try to help. If you're going to bring awareness, educate. I really can't stand her.
Discussing church things right now. And for anyone that says that I don't like churches, no, that is not true at all. I think what I've learned more than anything is a lot of people are leaving the church right now. A lot of people are leaving the church now because of what we're seeing here. The overstepping of the church into people's lives and the control they're trying to have over you and the amount of money they want from you and the abuse that's happening and the cover-ups that are happening.
Okay. Oh, thank you for the super sticker, Nana of 7. Thank you, beautiful. I appreciate you. That will require her to be a good person, and that ship has sailed. Was she ever a good person? Does anybody know? Was she ever a good person? What about you begging for subs and super chats, KJ? Isn't that demanding money for lies? Exactly, Joanne. KJ's husband's brother is a convicted. Really? Somebody told me that too. KJ once said, where there is one in the family, there's always more. So what is KJ hiding? Why has KJ isolated her whole family for over 2.5 years? Yeah, that's not good to isolate your family in that way. Like, I can honestly say I'm not as close to my family. Like, you know, the closest person that I have is my brother who lives in California, 2,000 miles away. But what I will say is that I love my family. You know, I just think that I don't care who's in your life, you guys. If they're toxic, you don't have to be around them. You know what I mean? I don't care if they're a family member or whatever. Protect your energy at all costs. And I tell you guys that all the time, and I mean it. But at the end of the day, I just feel like How much longer are you going to continue exploiting families? And when she continues to exploit families, that's why she always ends up in a lawsuit. You know what I mean? Because then she exploits, fabricates, and then, you know, she starts sensationalizing, you know? Oh, this is just a picture, I think. Is it? Yeah, I think it's just a picture. Hold on, you guys. Let me make sure there's no more.
You know, if you've got a child and you find out that there's sexual abuse at the church, why are you still going? I would never go back. Period. Churches are not regulated by the government. There's no oversight. So there's no proof and there's no incentive for them to do anything to correct the situation except for a promise to you that they'll do it. I would be out the door the minute I found out about an allegation like that. No way, no how. So you're welcome to believe what you want to believe. And oh, hi, Tristan. Miss you too. Hope school's going okay. Haha, that's Jed's friend. Tristan's in the house. Tristan was in college this year.
Have you guys ever noticed with KJ that even when she tries to look happy, she doesn't? Like, even when she smiles, it just doesn't look genuine to me. You guys notice that about her, or is it just me?
That's good. I'm glad to hear school's going well. Yeah, I think like I've often thought about this because even though I'm an atheist, I was in the church, grew up in the church, went to church, know the Bible. And I often think about this and I think the Jesus that I read about and learned about would be really appalled by the way that, oh, hi, Jojo, the way that these pastors are twisting scripture to harm and hurt people. It's really sad. So sad. So sad. Alexandra Watkins updated her profile and she doesn't have the management company listed. So there's now 5 total dancers that have not had the management company listed. And I saw that they were all posting videos together with Kalia doing the videography? Doug Wilson. I think I know Doug Wilson, but I don't know. I've not been so into like the... I'm good, Tristan. I feel like there's so many pastors that are just like not good people that I get lost in all of it, to be honest. Melinda.
I think in your eyes, KJ, no one who is religious is a good person to you. That's what I think. I think that, and don't get me wrong, I am the type of person who believes that, you don't have to go to church, to be religious. I don't believe in that, and I do know that there are a lot of things that happen within a church. I am perfectly aware of that. Sometimes more things go on in a church than an actual freaking reality show. There's a lot of things that go on in churches. I know that, but you shouldn't prejudge, people just because they are religious or just because of your experience growing up. Because one bad experience doesn't mean that everyone's bad. Like you go to one church and you have a bad experience, then you think every church is horrible, and that doesn't work. You know what I mean? That's not how life works. But to me, I think you think everyone who is religious is bad.
Roger. Thank you for following me, Melinda. Okay. I think I'm going to Netflix and chill now. So Doug Wilson. That name is familiar. Wives need to be led with a firm hand. Oh my God. That's horrible. I don't know what I'm going to watch on Netflix. What did I just finish? I can't remember. I watched the series about the boy that killed his dad. Maddie, you don't know if you believe it. We can just keep our fingers crossed, right? I'm going to try to be super respectful to their story and let them tell it when they're ready to tell it. Just be very mindful. They're probably, if they have left, they're in a very fragile place right now. And it's hard to leave a situation like that if they have left.
So let me get this straight. You think when they want to tell their story that they're going to come to you, KJ? And you're going to be respectful? I don't even think you know how to be respectful towards anybody. Just my opinion. I don't think she knows how to treat anyone with respect. I feel like she has no human decency at all. So, just my opinion.
So I just hope no matter what, they're happy. Let's hope that Anna does a Christine. I have very little faith that Anna will leave him. Sadly. She's stuck around and stayed with him knowing full well who he was. I don't see it changing anytime soon. Chad and JT go deep. Did you guys watch Heist? I just watched the first part of that. That was good. All right. Yeah. All the comments just completely stopped. Did I ever think Christine would leave Cody? I did. And I had been saying that on my channel for years. And you can actually go back onto my channel and see that I had been saying that she would leave. So the women from Sister Wives are so different than the Duggars. The girl in the picture. I don't like Whitney Cummings. Is Whitney Cummings is she the comedian, or am I thinking of somebody else? I watched Athlete A. That was really good. I actually recently watched yeah, I don't think I like her very much. No news, Maggie. Did you see that a girl and her brother are suing Tiffany Haddish? I started watching The Most Hated Guy on the internet, but I lost interest pretty fast because he was so awful.
No, you're awful, KJ. You are an awful person. Ironic that you would call somebody else awful when you are awful, in my opinion.
No, that's not Whitney Cummings. That's a different Whitney. Oh. I feel like I remember that guy's website. I never saw that website, but I feel like I heard about that. That was like when I was having my kid, though. Do you ever lose the space when your child was young where you don't remember popular culture? I feel like I don't remember from 2012 to 2017, like ever. Serena lost. So I'm not a fan of Serena Williams and never have been. I know it's like totally an unpopular opinion, but I played tennis and was a tennis coach, and I've never been a fan of Serena. I was never a fan of Serena or Venus. I don't like Serena's temper. It's really, no. A couple years ago, she was losing in a final or in a quarterfinal or semifinal, and she broke her racket because she was so angry, and she was fighting with the judge about calls on the court, and it was so disappointing to see someone do that. As a coach and as a player for years, I would just, you have to keep your cool. You got to be respectful of your competition. And Serena, that happened when I was coaching like 13 and 14-year-olds.
Of course, you guys know I'm heated over this, and we already talked about this earlier, but I'm going to talk about it again. It's easy for you to sit there and say that, KJ, because these are Black women. That's the only reason why you're saying this, because at the end of the day, if you watch tennis, you would know Venus and Serena Williams are not the only two people who get upset when it's a bad call. And you're talking about being respectful towards your competition. Everyone that you look at as competition, you're not respectful to. People that you don't even look at as competition, you're not respectful to. You're not respectful to anyone. You don't know what respect. I don't even think you know the meaning of the word respect. You treat everyone like they're garbage except for yourself. You hold yourself to this high pedestal, and you think that you are better than everyone else. And you were allegedly a tennis coach, and you had to lecture people that they shouldn't look up to Venus and Serena, two strong Black women that have broken all odds, all records, and you have the audacity to sit here and say that you shouldn't look up to them and you have to be respectful towards your competition. You're singling them out. Okay? You are singling these two Black women out because guess what, KJ? You definitely have some racist tendencies. You need to look in the mirror, not only for self-reflection, but you also need to look in the mirror and understand the fact that you definitely are spitting racial microaggressive behavior 100%. To single Venus and Serena out, talking about, I know it's not the popular opinion, you look like a fool right now. And the reason why you look a hella fool, all of your fuckery, I'm tired of the fuckery with you. You look hella foolish right now because anyone who watches tennis knows that not only Venus and Serena get pissed off at bad calls or when they miss a ball or whatever, every tennis player does. I'd say 99.9% of every tennis player, famous or not, gets mad and angry and loses their temper. And it happens in every sport too, not just tennis. So the fact that you singled out these two Black women speaks volumes, and it should speak volumes to everyone else too. Because at the end of the day, think of it like this. You're supposed to be so into tennis, and you were a tennis coach, right? So you've watched plenty of tennis players. Now, if she would have said, I don't like Venus and Serena and how they lose their temper, but they are phenomenal players. Nobody is, they're great. Not many people can compare to them. That would be different, but that's not what you're doing. You are completely throwing them under the bus because of the color of their skin.
And so they loved her. And I'm trying to have to explain to them that the way that she behaved on the court is horrible. And you should never emulate that, because it's just, you should not treat your competition like that. And it was really sad because the girl that won and eventually won the title, her entire match was like completely upstaged.
You are disgusting, KJ. I just want you to know that. You are disgusting. To sit there and single out Venus and Serena like they are just these horrible, horrible women because they flip out and lose their temper on the tennis court when so many tennis players does. You should be ashamed of yourself. And now it's very blatantly obvious. Even if we were to give you the benefit of the doubt, we can't do it no more, because you've shown us very clearly now of what the first thing that you do when it comes to Black people. And that's just my opinion. It's easy for you to say that because it is a huge stereotype, which goes back to racial microaggressive behavior, you guys. It's a huge stereotype to think that Black women are angry. Black women get upset easily. Black women get upset when they don't get their way, and they display violent behavior. That's what she's doing right now. Just to keep it real. That pisses me off. Hearing it once was enough, to be honest with you. Very triggering. But that's what KJ does, though. She triggers everybody.
By Serena's outburst. And I felt really, really bad for her because she won. And she won not because Serena was having an off day. She won because she was a better tennis player that day. And yeah.
You are disgusting, KJ. I cannot stress this enough. How do you know that she didn't win because Serena was having a bad day? How do you know? You don't. You don't know if this tennis player, there are a lot of tennis players who lose because who win because their competitor is having a bad day. That's just the reality of the situation. I'm not saying that it isn't so, but how do you know that it isn't the opposite of what you're saying?
I've just never loved Serena's attitude.
I'm so glad that you guys see this right now. I'm so glad that this woman has no self-awareness and her true colors are starting to shine through, not only with Miss Letitia and her family, but just with her stating this confirms everything for me. And the fact that you can sit there and say you've never liked her attitude, you don't know her. Why? Because you see her play tennis? And guess what? Serena and Venus have earned every right to be cocky. That's just my opinion. They are that damn good. Just like LeBron James. Just like, what the hell is that football player? Tom Brady. They have earned their right to be cocky. She's disgusting. Ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's not just a bad day with Serena. She gets like that a lot. That's why I don't like her.
That is a fucking lie. Serena doesn't get like that a lot. You don't know what you're talking about. That's why I don't like her. You act like you know her, like you met her before. How a person is on a tennis court does not mean that that's who they are. You don't know her. You don't know her personality. You don't know a damn thing about her.
Yes. You have to be very mentally tough. I'm trying to think of like what females I used to like. When I was like super into watching professional tennis, my favorite athlete ever was Pete Sampras. And that was because he was so calm and collected. And he had the most ridiculous serve that he could, at the time, his serve was like 130 miles an hour, his first serve. And he was the best player on grass. I didn't like Martina Navratilova. She was a hothead too. For women, I don't know. I can't remember. Steffi Graf. I liked Lindsay Davenport. And I don't know. Chris Everett. Yeah, she was good. Gabrielle Sabatini. Yeah, she was good. Oh, there's one. There's a dark-haired girl I cannot remember who I used to really, really like. And I cannot think of her name. She had dark, short hair. She was so good.
And just to let you guys know, with Pete Sampras, guess what? He has lost his temper many a times on the tennis court. But you're not going to talk about that, are you, KJ? Yep, he has.
No, she was around the time of Lindsay Davenport. And who's the one that, no, not Billie Jean King. Who was the one that was married, that's married to Enrique? Jennifer Capriata. Yes, I loved her. She was probably my favorite. Capriata, yeah. Thank you. That's who I liked. Capriati, yes. Yes, Jennifer. But no, yeah, my favorite like ever was Pete Sampras. And then after him, I think I could never get into what's his face, Andre. Capriati, I think is her last name. Anna Kournikova. Oh, she was so bad. She was so bad. She had the loudest, like, Andre Agassi. Yeah, I was never into Andre Agassi. Man, when he played Pete, their last match.
And just to let you know, you guys, every single person that she's naming, I'm Googling them. And every single person has lost their temper more than once on the tennis court. And it's funny how she can sit there and talk about the one tennis player that she said she never liked her attitude, but she didn't get too much into that, did she? And she's not going to. But she can sit there and bash Venus and Serena.
Pete destroyed him. I don't know if any male has exceeded the number of titles that Pete Sampras has earned. I haven't paid attention. There's Roger Federer that I know is super good. And for a while, Andy Roddick was like the next big thing. I haven't paid attention. Nadal. He's got a really fast serve, I think, right? I actually have his wait. I think I have his racket. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. No, she was around the time. I think I have his racket. I think I have whatever the racket is that he has. I'm gonna go see if I can find it. I haven't played tennis in like 2 years. But I love my racket.
Well, maybe you need to get out and play tennis and do something with your life, KJ, besides being on the internet, making videos, trying to bully everyone and make them miserable. Maybe you should invest your time into something else, okay, besides being on the internet, slandering people and ending up in lawsuits. Just saying.
Let me see if I can find it. This is my room. Spare room is a mess. This is like where everything goes to die. I thought it was in here. Guys, this room is a mess. I just threw all of our stuff in here. This is our spare room. It's a mess right now. It's just like filled with clothes and it's like where it's our guest room. We have to we never are in here. Apparently my tennis racket is not in here. This room is such a mess. Okay. You can see it's like filled with stuff. Okay. Maybe my racket's in here. I'm looking for my tennis racket. It's not in here either. Oh, I can't even remember what the brand of my racket is. Is that bad? I thought it was in this room. Who is this person? No worries. We all have a room like this. Do we? Does every person have a room like this? This room is a mess. I have a nice, like, closet in here that's filled with just crap. It's not an LA Head or a Yonex. No, it's a B. The brand is with a B. Do you know what the B name is? It's not a Wilson. I have a Pro Staff. I have a Wilson Pro Staff. I have a Wilson, a Babala. Yes, that's the brand. You're right. Is that what it is? No, it's not a Baldwin. It's a Babala. Babala. Well,
How long is she going to take to look for some damn tennis racket that she probably doesn't even have?
good for you, Chris. I don't know if it's in, is it in my garage? My garage is a mess too. You guys, I haven't played tennis in like 2 years, so. Oh, I see it. I see it. I found it. I found my tennis racket. It's in the garage.
I'm pretty sure half these people do not give a shit about your tennis racket, Katie. Okay? No wonder your views are so low. Nobody gives a shit.
Oh my God, you guys. It's like filled. It's a little dirty because my husband is a woodworker. He makes guitars. Let me just show you. This place is a mess right now. Don't. Oops. Can I flip this around? This is like my garage right now. He makes guitars. So that's my house. Okay. Babolat. That's the kind of, yes, you know. Hold on. Oh, this is it. It's a Babolat. It's it's now I don't know. Does Nadal use this? I feel like this is, you want it. This is, I love this racket. I got it in 2019, 2018.
You're sitting here talking about a racket that you're never going to use because you don't leave your house. So, again, what's the point of showing it? Just to show that you played tennis once in your life? Okay.
I don't know. Let's play. I'll play. Look. My it's Nadal. Okay, that's what I thought. It's his racket. I love it. I haven't played in a couple years.
I think that's it. That racket is on sale at Dick's for $129 in case of any. Yeah, I don't know about that. Like, I don't know. Like, why go through all of that shit just to show that you had a tennis racket? To prove what? What is it exactly that you wanted to prove? That you played tennis before, or that you were a tennis coach or something? Like, what's the point? Yeah, that ended abruptly because her Wi-Fi went out. I'm pretty sure. So I don't see the point in that. Like, I don't see the point in going through all that shit just to show your tennis racket, which is buried, but yet it's so important to you that it was buried in your garage. Yeah, whatever. But if you guys notice, she's not talking about Molly anymore. She's not talking about, Miss Letitia, Miss Lynette. And yeah, that's good that she's not. You know what I'm saying? But in the same sense, there's a reason for that. And it's because she thinks that she just slithered her way out of this after putting out all types of private messages, doxing, completely changing narratives, false narratives from one day to the next, lying, fabricating, all of these things. And she thinks that everyone's just supposed to say, oh, she's not talking about it anymore, so it's over. You don't do those types of things and think that it's over. Just like it's not over with you, Katie, and 7M. Just like it's not over with you, Katie, and Todd Chrisley. You're not going to slither your way out of all of the dirty, underhanded, disgusting things that you have done. You're not. You have literally put out a video that was sent to you privately where Ms. Wynette was in the hospital visiting Vaughn. You have pulled, yeah, she's using Unirock. That's very clear. We all know that she's using Unirock, and that's why she's not talking about it anymore. Because Unirock is the person that's going to be thrown under the bus if anything happens. That was her whole motive for that in the first place. And it's so funny to me how you can sit there and talk about how you have nothing to do with the nonsense channel, right? But never once, make a wish, you guys. It's 11:11 for some people somewhere. It's 2:11 here. So never once has she talked about the screenshots where it shows proof that she was logged under the nonsense account. Has she addressed that? No. Has she talked about it? No. She has deflected and hasn't talked about it or addressed it at all. Why is that? You're not sharing anything from the nonsense channel anymore. Because people ask me, how do I know that she is the nonsense channel? How do I know that for sure? Well, we never know anything for sure, right? Like, we know. We don't ever know anything for sure. But here's the deal. If you are logged under an account that is an account that's doing your dirty work, and everybody thinks that you have something to do with that account, 9 times out of 10, if you accidentally logged into that Facebook account on your regular Without a Crystal Ball account, because you actually just forgot which account you were logged into, and then you go back and that thread, that post is completely gone, that means you are that account. Allegedly, in my opinion. Okay? That's why. If you can explain to me how she could be under that account, but it's not her, explain that to me, and maybe I will agree with you. But until that time, I don't agree with you. I think the nonsense channel is Katie. And I also think that because Katie is being so quiet, but yet Unirock is still running his mouth, there's a reason for that. Okay? It's pointless with Unirock to even tell him something like that, because to me, this is gaining him subscribers. This is obviously gaining him clicks, gaining him views. So of course, he's more than happy to continue perpetuating this false narrative with no proof, zero proof. So like I said, I don't know Unirock. I just know of the shady things that he and Katie have done together. And it's funny to me, for the little bit of time that I seen him talking to Molly Golightly and Goose, he was talking to you, and then he was talking to Justin on his channel. The one thing I noticed is you're not so tough when you're talking to people one-on-one. Yes, it's a good thing to be able to have an adult conversation, but at the end of the day, you have been talking shit and running your mouth for weeks. For weeks. But when you talk to somebody head on, okay, maybe not technically face to face, but when you talk to somebody that you have been accusing of being a fraud for weeks and weeks, your whole demeanor changes. Right. And then got off and said something completely different. Well, we knew that was going to happen, right? But the reason why he's saying something completely different now than what he was when he was talking to Molly is because everybody in his comment section were talking about how disappointed they were in him. Okay, well, if his audience is disappointed with him, then he's going to go with his audience. He's going to say, yeah, and totally change his opinion. But when you're talking to, them face to face, not technically, but you guys know what I mean. Face to face, you're talking to them and you have nothing but nice things to say, right? So it just gives you an indication. And then for months now, it's been nothing from Katie but Molly, Marsha. It's been nothing but that, okay? For months, okay? Maybe a month, maybe over a month. But yet, Molly goes on Unirock's channel, the person that you got to do your dirty work, and it's crickets. You don't have anything to say about it. You're trying to slither your way out of everything that you've done, post after post, live stream after live stream. You're trying to slither out of every single thing that you've done as if there's no consequences, but there's always repercussions. Always. I think it took that 5 minutes last night for Eunice to lose all credibility or support he might have had. Right. Because you don't act one way, call people frauds, call them snakes, whatever. And then as soon as you're talking to them one-on-one, one-on-two, one-on-three, you have nothing but nice things to say. You know what I'm saying? You don't have anything, you know. It's crazy to me. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with being able to have an adult conversation, but in the same sense, having an adult conversation, you can still tell people how you feel. Like, I can be on panel with Katie and have an adult conversation and not yell and scream at her, but I'm still going to fucking tell her how I feel. I'm still going to be real. I'm still going to say, like, you guys will be sitting in my comment section. Listen to this. If Katie was to come on my panel today or tomorrow, and she gets on my panel and I say, you know, I do really like the work that you've done, and you know, there are some things that bother me about you, but here's the things that I do like, blah, 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 you know, and then I don't say anything that I don't like, but I'm just sitting there basically saying to her, you know, I know that you do this and I know that you do that, and I think that's very noble. Y'all would be looking at me like I'm fucking crazy. Don't. And if you say you wouldn't, you'd be lying. You would be looking at me like, Teaya, I am so disappointed in you. Where's that same energy at, right? All of these things that you've said, where's that energy now that Katie's on your panel? That's the same thing with Unirock. That's how you have to look at it. Hold on, let me go back up. He's a punk. He folded and bitched up so fast, I will never take him seriously. He's fake as fuck too. Goose, that was the craziest thing. I love how all was sitting there on hush, just watching his ass lie. And that's all he was doing was lying. KJ, your racket is in your head. He's a conspiracy theorist. Birds of a feather will use each other forever. I like that. AKA Emily Bennett, that's great to hear. I cannot wait for them to win. I might have to cross the pond if it goes to trial. I hope they do win. I think it took that 5 minutes last night for Uni to lose all credibility or support that he may have had. I agree, because it's about keeping the same energy. See, here's the thing, and this is something that I always have a problem with. Don't have other people do your dirty work. Don't do that. Don't do that, because it bothers me. Be real, keep the same energy. And in my opinion, I mean, I don't think he's gonna lose a whole bunch of subscribers as long as he continues to perpetuate this narrative of, you know, Molly and Justin being a fraud and Miss Letitia and all them. But in the same sense, everything that he said, he didn't keep that same energy with you guys on panel. He did not keep that same energy. He was completely different. He didn't say half the things that he said when you guys aren't there, while hurting this family and Marvon to the point trying to get people fired from jobs. Bunch of sickos to do this stuff for revenge, views, and subs. I agree. He's another one trying to railroad a Black woman and blame her for being a mastermind of fraud. I agree. She did the same thing with the Saunders Kennedy a few years ago, threw him under the bus. Yep, I remember that. I talk about that often. I've never watched much of Uni stuff, but I thought he was genuine. Nah. His grin in the beginning was like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Why is he spelling like that? I put money on you. Don't you think? I mean, he just seemed to show himself as an abject hypocrite by doing the opposite of everything he's been doing on the topic of all these weeks. Amen. That's what I think. You can still have an adult conversation with somebody And as a matter of fact, that's what people can't stand about me. I can have an adult conversation and still cuss you out so bad you'll start crying. That's just the way I've always been. I know how to have an adult conversation, but the point is that not everybody's like me, but he still didn't keep the same energy with all of the things that he's been spewing for the past weeks. Then when Molly comes on panel, you don't keep that same energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it definitely showed his true character. No offense to anyone here, but I really dislike the conspiracy theory insult because I think it's lazy and bullshit and just used to divide people, in my opinion. I am a conspiracy theorist in a lot of ways, but I do understand what you're saying. Some people use it in that way to divide people. She would never go on anyone's panel. She just doesn't have that backbone. I agree 100%. Unirock was complaining tonight that Molly was stealing his subs. Oh, for goodness sakes. No, that's not what it is. It's just that you were fake. And your subs chose to leave. You were fake. You had an opportunity to tell, Molly how you felt, and you didn't. It was very strange, at least compared to what I hear. I know KJ is a damn fool. I love you, Teaya. I love you saying it like, oh, I love you too, Chris 10K. See, and it's scandalous, weak-minded crap like that makes me doubt his I'm a vet story, because he is opposites of everything the military reps. Dude legit oozes stolen. Is that Fuller? I need glasses in my opinion, but I could be wrong. Poor Unirock. It's hard backpedaling when you don't have a spine. Amen, Dave. I don't know what Tinkerbell said. Oh, there it is. Unirock was complaining. Yeah, I mean, I could see him complaining about that. And it's not about stealing subs. You did that on your own. It was also totally ironic that he used KJ, aimed the convo by throwing her under the bus to align with MGL and that panel. Yeah, he was talking big shit on his panel before coming on Molly's. Then, when he got there, I don't hate you, Molly. I actually like you. That's what I'm saying. How can you like somebody that you're calling a fraud? You never really said too many positive things about Molly. So then as soon as you're on panel with her, you don't keep that same energy. To me, I will never. I just looked at him and I knew that is how he is. You can tell. You know what I mean? You can just tell that he's that type of person. And I could see how his subs will be looking at him sideways. So as soon as they got off panel, as soon as Goose and Molly got off and Justice for All got off panel, then his whole demeanor changed because he's seen his audience looking at him like, what the fuck? And like I said, if Katie was to get on my panel and I was to just be all nice to her and say, you know what, I actually really do like you, y'all would be like, deuces, Teaya, I'm out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that wouldn't be me being genuine. That would mean that I'm fake. That would be against everything that I stand for, Yeah, that Saunders Kennedy situation, I'll never forget that. Two-faced people. Bosh, MGL, and Ditos, I was watching Molly and she was welcoming them all. Yes, Tony, I noticed that. I was like, nice deflection, bud. Well, shit, don't piss Teaya off. It's not about that. I can have a conversation, but I'm the type of person where, no, I'm not always right. I can admit when I'm wrong, but I am still the type of person that if you do me a certain way or I don't like you, you will not like your encounter with me. That's all there is to it. You just won't. The whole Shane Dawson and Saunders Kennedy is how I found KJ. Yeah. I think, and that's something that my mother used to always say, my ability, a lot of people can't keep calm when they're around somebody that they don't like, but I can keep calm and still cuss you the fuck out. You may even forget your name when I'm done, because I can be brutal. But in the same sense, I still know how to have an adult conversation, and I still know how to keep the same energy. It's all about that to me. It's all about standing up for what you believe in, being true to yourself, and doing your own work. You know, if you want to be dirty on your own. If you want something done, do it yourself. Don't rely on other people to do it for you, because they're never going to do it like you do. You know, you can try to rely on people to help you, but nobody's ever going to do something that you want done the way you want it done. You know what I mean? You know what type of person he is when he was running circles. Then when he left, immediately went back to his channel and started talking crap again. Yep. People got a chance to see how fake he was in real time, because he streamed his live while on Molly's panel. Yeah, he was streaming his live. Tinkerbell Marissa welcomes everybody, but if you lie, then she will let you go. No problem with that. Hey, Justin, how are you? I'm still vowed on how you literally just talked about BX Beast Boy situation and KJ, right? Around and proves your point, putting down Venus and Serena the way she did. And even in that live stream with BX Beast Boy, there was racial microaggressions, because she was trying to act like BX Beast Boy was just this whole being aggressive, and he wasn't being aggressive. He was totally calm, just trying to have a conversation with her. And she tried to make it look like he was being combative, and he wasn't. You know, the only thing about BX Beast Boy that was being maybe a little bit condescending, but so what? You know, because he was laughing, and BX Beast Boy does that with everybody. Can't remember what chat it was. I was just looking for live pretty late, but I think they were involved with Summer Wells, and they were talking shit on Molly, and I haven't known her long, but I like her. Probably just jealous people like always. I don't know. I would be ashamed to support him after that. Uni followers, take this perpetual L. Tonight he was playing MGL's live and saying he wasn't bashing her. I had to stop watching it. I can only take a couple minutes of him. Yeah, he is definitely somebody that's, you know, don't think Marissa stole subs. I think those people saw the truth. I think so too. Like when you totally, like I said, when you don't keep the same energy, people are going to see that shit. Some of his old mods did a panel live like a year ago talking about the KJ situation, and even back then it was so weird. Not sure if anyone else has seen it. I haven't seen it, but I'll have to go back and watch. I feel like he's definitely changed his tune. No, you can't steal subs. A lot of people say that, and I don't understand why people say that. You can't steal subs. Subs are going to go wherever they want to go. Exactly. How does someone steal subs? Oh, yeah, I read that. Yeah, KJ was a freaking idiot with that whole Saunders thing. But we'll be going back to that. Remember, we're having a series right now. I believe they have an under the table deal, probably money involved. Of course, in my opinion, to hype each other up when it's convenient. But all it does is pull the wool over their subscribers. I agree. Two things I can't stand about people: liars and two-faced. Amen. Same. I'm tearing you apart with intellect and lashes and I like that, Laura Lou. Thank you. Hey, Kimmy71. Thank you, Nikki. I don't think too many people have heard of him until he started talking about this, you know, and he does it on his second channel because his first channel has quite a bit of subscribers. I think he has like 20, 30,000 maybe on his first channel, but he's doing this on his second channel because he's smart enough to know, like, he doesn't want to take the fall or take any kind of hit on his first channel. In my opinion, nobody takes fans. We are all adults and smart enough to know who we want to follow and support. Simple as that. Is amen. And that's the same way that how I look at it is I look at it like, you know, everyone has their pet peeves. I think we all do. You know, we have our pet peeves and we look at things in certain ways. Oh, somebody became a member. How come I can't see it? Is it down more? Oh, thank you, Ed's Missing Bowls. Thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the Glam Fam. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. You would think his subs would be dizzy as fuck as much as he talks in circles. Oh, you're funny. You guys are cracking me up. The uni subs were being so rude last night on Molly's live after he went on panel. Many bombarded the chat typing the N-word. I was disgusted at that behavior. I was screaming at my screen. Wow. I'm sorry I missed it. I'll have to go back and watch the replay. Yeah, that's that's a cute name. But seriously, you guys are absolutely amazing. I wasn't expecting this live to be that long, but it is what it is. But I had a blast with you guys as always. Don't forget about the series. And I will be back tomorrow. I'm talking about the KJ series and taking it back. Taking it back. Since KJ likes to take it back, we're going to take it back. But you guys are amazing. You guys always make me laugh, always make my night. I always enjoy sitting here talking to you guys and just holding people like Katie accountable for her shitty ass behavior. And if anybody wants to know, like, the one thing I can say is it's very, very hard to it's very hard to sit here and say, that's why I say racist tendencies. Oh, thank you to Best Mama Bear. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate all your hard work you put into these lives, showcasing her deplorable behavior. Thank you. You are so welcome, and thank you so much. Thank you for being here, all of you. Thank you, Justin, Goose, Sparkle. You guys are amazing. Llama Girl. I am not going to sit here and blatantly say, well, yeah, I'm going to sit here and blatantly say, I do think that Katie has some racial tendencies. I think that I think she's very ignorant. And I also think that she's not an advocate for Black people. I think that she definitely does have racist tendencies. And the reason why I say that is because you have shown your true colors. You've showed your true color with this family. Ms. Letitia, Ms. Wynette, the way that you've thrown them under the bus and put Ms. Letitia's life in danger, in my opinion. And also, you know, to me, Venus and Serena thing just confirmed it for me. To sit there and talk about Venus and Serena in that way, when every single tennis player loses their cool on the tennis court, including the tennis players that she was naming, you guys, that is definitely a reason to say this woman is a racist, in my opinion. It's just my opinion, and you don't have to agree with me. That's okay. We can all disagree. That's the beauty of America. That's the beauty of being a human being. We all are going to disagree on things. And I'm just saying, as a Black woman, I'm offended by her saying that. And the reason why I'm offended is because you're sitting there talking about how they have how Venus and Serena have a temper, yet you're not calling out your favorite tennis players and they have a temper, and then yet you're sitting here talking, and it's a very, very stereotypical thing to say about Black women, because a lot of people say that about Black women. Black women are angry, they're dangerous. They do dangerous things. They have a bad attitude. It's a very, very racial microaggressive behavior. So that was the whole point of me doing this live. And then I'm glad I was able to go over some of her live stream, or the whole live stream. Shout out to Llama Girl. Thank you for all of your hard work. It's not easy to sit there and clip that. It's not easy. So thank you guys so much for being here. I adore you. Thank you for being amazing. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I will be here for sure tomorrow. And if you ever want to email me, my email is always in the description, and it's in my about section as well. Make sure you subscribe before you leave if you haven't already. Press the thumbs up button or the thumbs down, whatever. It's all interaction, baby. And I love you guys so very much. Thank you for being so supportive. I'm humble. It means the world to me. Thank you to all the new members. Thank you for the super chats. I love y'all, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Deuces.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so free.